Welcome to Style and Confidence, where transformative coaching meets personal styling for business success. I'm your host, Claire Silk, a transformative life coach and a personal stylist, passionate about helping women like you align your inner worth with your outer expression. Each week, we explore how to build lasting confidence from the inside out, so you can show up as your most authentic, empowered self. Whether you're looking to break through limiting beliefs, build authentic confidence and a winning mindset, or create a wardrobe that truly empowers you, you are in the right place. Get ready to transform your relationship with both your mind and your style. Hello and welcome back. Over the past few weeks, I've talked about moving from capable to confident, developing leadership presence, and about recognizing when your style is out of alignment with your ambition. Through all of these conversations, there's been an underlying theme of growth and change, evolution and becoming. Often the hardest part of growth is what you need to release and let go of in order to become the version of you that you're going to. Growth is not just about adding, it's also about releasing where you were and where you've been and creating space for what's new. Space in your wardrobe for clothes that reflect who you are becoming, not who you were. Space in your schedule for what actually matters, not just what you've always done. And space in your identity for who you're evolving into and letting go of who you used to be. And today I want to talk about this process of creating space because I think it's important and also it's a most difficult part of transformation. When your old identity no longer fits, when you've outgrown who you were, and when you're on the edge of something new, you need to create space for what is emerging. That requires letting go, which is often much harder than it sounds. It might be that you have a full wardrobe, absolutely packed, but maybe nothing feels right, nothing feels like you. And then you're left with that wardrobe full of clothes and nothing to wear scenario. Perhaps you're surrounded by clothes that represent versions of you that you've already outgrown. Pieces from when you were trying to fit into a corporate culture perhaps. Maybe safe conservative clothes that helped you blend in when you were a member of a team. Or things that you'd bought because you thought they were what you should be wearing, not because you loved them. If this is the case, there might be no space for who you are becoming. And whilst this is literally true, it's also quite a good metaphor for your entire life. Even when we know intellectually that we've outgrown something, we often struggle to let it go because identity is sticky. It's how we've known ourselves. It's how other people have known us. And it's familiar, even if it no longer fits. Letting go of an identity, even one that we have outgrown and it's no longer right for us, can feel like losing a bit of ourselves. So we hold on to it. We try to be both versions at once. We straddle the old and the new, and we get stuck in this uncomfortable in-between space, this kind of limbo where nothing really matches. It's where creating space becomes crucial, because you can't fully step into who you're becoming whilst you're still holding on to who you were. So what does it mean to create space? Let me share some of the areas that I think are most important for creating space. Firstly, creating space in your wardrobe. This is the most tangible, most physical place to start, and it's incredibly symbolic as well. Your wardrobe is full of clothes that represent different versions of you. Some of them still fit who you are, and many of them don't. The pieces from when you were trying to blend in, from a role you no longer have, and things that you bought because you thought you should wear them. These clothes are taking up space. Physical space in your wardrobe, but also mental and emotional space. Every time you open your wardrobe and see clothes that don't feel like you anymore, you're reminded of a version of yourself that you've outgrown. This makes it harder to fully embody who you're becoming. This is similar to if you've lost a lot of weight or if you've gained a lot of weight and you've got clothes that don't actually fit you, but they're still in your wardrobe all the time for a version of you that isn't the current version. Creating space requires letting go of the clothes that no longer serve you. Not all of them, not everything, but the pieces that clearly belong to a previous chapter. The ones that you haven't worn in over a year. The ones that make you feel like you're playing a role rather than yourself. Let them go. Donate them to charity. Sell them. Just release them. And then notice how it feels to open your wardrobe and see only clothes that reflect who you are now. And secondly, creating space in your schedule. This is harder because it's not just about things. It's about commitments, obligations, relationships. Your schedule is probably full, but how much of it is filled with what you've always done rather than what you actually want to do? Maybe old commitments, obligations you said yes to years ago. Meetings that no longer serve you, and projects that don't align with your current vision. Perhaps you're a member of the PTA but no longer want to be. Or there's something else that you've said yes to. Creating space in your schedule means examining what you're spending your time on and asking whether or not this belongs to who you were or who you are becoming. And then have the courage to release what belongs to the past. To say no and set boundaries. You need to protect your time for what actually matters to you now. 3. Creating space in your identity. This is the deepest work and the hardest. We carry so many stories about who we are, some of them true, many of them outdated. Something like, I'm the person who always says yes. I'm not good at that. I'm the reliable one. I'm not the type to put myself first. I'm someone who needs to prove herself. These identity stories shape how we see ourselves and how we show up in the world, but many of them might have been formed years ago. They belong to previous versions of you, and they're no longer true. Creating space in your identity means examining these stories and asking, is this still true now? Or is this who I used to be? And then consciously releasing the stories that no longer serve you. This doesn't mean denying who you've been. It means acknowledging that you've grown and being grateful for the past. You're allowed to be different now. Who you were does not limit who you can become. 4. Creating space in your relationships. This is delicate and often painful. As you evolve, some relationships will evolve with you and some won't. Some people in your life will celebrate your growth and some will feel threatened by it. Some relationships will deepen as you become more yourself. Some will naturally fade as you grow in different directions. Creating space doesn't necessarily mean ending relationships, but it does mean being honest about which relationships support who you're becoming and which ones keep you tethered to who you were. And it means allowing some relationships to shift, to change, or even to end when that's what is needed. Importantly, creating space does not mean rejecting your past. You're not pretending that you never were that previous version of yourself. You're not denying what you've been through or who you've been, and you're not forgetting about it. You are honouring it, acknowledging it, and being grateful for it, and then consciously choosing to move forwards. Creating space is about saying, yes, that's what I was, and now I'm becoming this. Creating space in any of these ways might feel quite frightening at first. And if you create space in your wardrobe, perhaps after a wardrobe audit, suddenly you might see lots of space, empty space. And that can feel very uncomfortable, especially when you're used to it being full. But then you will start discovering who you really are now, your current identity, and where you're going. And in your wardrobe, this might allow you to start discovering your actual style now, not what you think you should be wearing, but what genuinely feels like you. With space in your schedule, maybe you can start doing work that is actually aligned with your vision, rather than just staying busy with what you've always done. With space in your identity, perhaps you can start showing up more authentically, because you're not trying to be the person you used to be, you can just be who you are now. By aligning all these things with your current identity, you will be more confident, more clear about who you are, and more genuinely yourself than any version that came before, because you're not trying to be multiple versions of you at once. You're not split between past and present in that strange limbo. You just have space to be you, who you are now. And this is what I want for you. Not to reject who you have been, but to create space for who you're becoming. To let go of what no longer fits you, so you have room for what does. And to release the old stories, the old clothes, the old commitments, and the old version of yourself, so that the new version has space to emerge, kind of like a butterfly. So your action for this week is to create space in one area of your life. Start with the easiest. So here's how. Step 1, choose one area where you need to create space. I do recommend choosing the easiest. Based on what we've talked about today, where do you most need the space, and where is going to be easiest for you to find this space? In your wardrobe, your schedule, your identity, your relationships. Choose one to start with, or in another area that might be relevant for you. Choose one to start with, and then step 2, identify what needs to be released. If it's your wardrobe, go through your wardrobe and pull out everything that clearly belongs to a previous version of you. These will be pieces you probably haven't worn in over a year. The ones that don't feel like you when you put them on. They don't reflect who you are now. If it's your schedule, look at your calendar and identify commitments, meetings and projects that belong to who you were, rather than who you are becoming. The obligations that you said yes to years ago that no longer serve you, perhaps. If it's your identity, write down the stories that you tell yourself about who you are, and then circle the ones that are actually no longer true. These ones belong to a previous version of you. If it's your relationships, identify which relationships support who you're becoming, and which ones keep you tethered to who you were. Step 3, release with gratitude and intention. This is not about being critical or harsh or dramatic, it's just about being intentional. For your wardrobe, choose what you can donate or sell, whether it's to charity or to a friend, or to make a little bit of money to buy a new piece that you need. Thank each piece for serving you when it did. Remember memories of it fondly, and then let it go. For your schedule, start saying no. Cancel what doesn't serve you, and protect your time for what actually matters to you now. For your identity, write new stories. Consciously choose new narratives about who you are now, not who you used to be. Visualization exercises can be really good for this. For relationships, have honest conversations, create boundaries, and allow some relationships just to shift naturally. And step 4, sit with the space for a bit. Once you've released things, there will be space. This might feel empty and it might feel uncomfortable at first, but sit with it. Don't rush to fill it immediately. Just notice what it feels like to have a bit of room to breathe. And step 5, notice what naturally wants to emerge. As you spend time sitting with the space, pay attention to what starts to emerge. With space in your wardrobe, what style feels genuinely like you now? With space in your schedule, what work actually calls to you? Where are you wanting to spend your time? And with space in your identity, who are you when you're not being who you used to be? With space in your relationships, what kind of connections do you actually want? Who in your life makes you feel good and positive? Who inspires you? And let the space teach you what you want to come next. So to recap what we've talked about today, growth isn't just about adding, it's also about releasing, creating space for who you are becoming by letting go of who you were. Signs that your old identity no longer fits you include feeling constrained, being bored by what used to excite you, being drawn to different people and conversations, and feeling like you're performing or using a past tense about yourself and feeling pulled towards something new. Creating space is needed in several areas. Your wardrobe, releasing clothes that belong to previous versions of you. Your schedule, releasing commitments that no longer serve you. Your identity, releasing old stories about who you were. And your relationships, allowing some to shift or end. Creating space doesn't mean rejecting your past. It means honouring it and consciously moving forwards. Saying, yes, I was that, and now I'm becoming this. So your action for this week is to choose one area to create space in. Identify what needs to be released, release it with intention, and sit with the space. And then noticing what wants to emerge. You can't become the next version of yourself while still clinging on to the previous version. You have to create the space in order to embrace the next version of you fully. You have to let go. And when you do, the woman who emerges in that space will be more confident, more clear about who she is, and more genuinely herself than any version that came before. So thank you for being here with me today. I hope you found this useful, and I'm honoured to be on this journey with you. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. Where do you need to create space? And if it is your wardrobe that you want to release things from, a great thing to do first is to understand where you currently are. To help you do this, you can download my signature presence archetype quiz. This will help you understand your current style, your current identity, and your current psychological patterns. You can download this using the link in the show notes or in my bio on Instagram. Creating space is scary, but this is also where transformation happens, and it can be exciting. You're ready for this. Thank you for listening to Style and Confidence, where style meets confidence for business success. If you have enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, rate, review, and subscribe so you never miss out on our weekly confidence-building conversations. You can also connect with me over on LinkedIn as Claire Silk or on Instagram at Silk Style and Confidence for more style and mindset tips. Until next time, remember, true confidence comes from within. Style helps it shine.